Live Weather is supported by Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys. And now, First Warn 5 weather with meteorologist Matt Holliner.
Welcome back. 12:48 this afternoon, and I briefly mentioned earlier in the newscast Delta, but I want to spend a lot more time talking about it now because this could have some significant impacts in the U.S. And that's the development. If this is catching you off guard, this morning this was still Tropical Depression 26. And no longer. It is now a tropical storm because it's looking healthier and healthier. The latest is that it has sustained winds of 60 miles per hour and it is moving to the west at 7 miles per hour. The pressure has been coming down, now dropping to 998 millibars. And yeah, it's hard to believe, but we're already on the D storm in the Greek alphabet. Only the second time we've made it to the Greek alphabet, and we're already flying through it, it seems like. Now on to Delta. Confidence very high in the short term with this one, which is good. We like high confidence, and this is typically how it works. The model's in good agreement that this thing's going to continue to strengthen, becoming a Category 1 hurricane, then a Category 2 hurricane. That's by Wednesday at 7 a.m., 100-mile-per-hour sustained winds. Now, after this point, unfortunately, there are still a lot of questions because one of the tricky parts about this forecast is because of Gamma. Gamma's still going to be there on the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula. And though it's not going to be very strong, it may have a slight influence on exactly when this thing is going to turn to the north. So could it make landfall in the Florida Panhandle? That's a possibility. Could it make landfall all the way on the Texas-Louisiana border? That's a possibility. And that's the kind of the scary thing about this. This cone, you've probably seen this earlier this year. Yeah, because hurricanes have made landfall here. This is going to possibly be the 10th storm to make landfall in the U.S. this year. That would be a new record. Right now, we've tied the record set back in 1916 with 9 landfalls. But if this happens, we're talking about 10 landfalls. And yes, if it makes landfall in Gulf Shores, that would be their second hurricane of the year. Makes landfall in Lake Charles, that would be their second hurricane of the year. Somebody could get 2 hurricanes in the same year, which typically you don't think could happen, but it's looking more and more like a possibility. We're going to hope that some wind shear comes in at the last second. But I tell you what, if it somehow escapes the wind shear, if that wind shear doesn't come in, we could be talking about a major hurricane, a Category 3. I would not rule that out. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. The model's hinting at some wind shear coming in at the last second, and the water temperatures are coming down, but they're still awfully warm. And not only is it going to do wind damage along the coast, but it will continue to dump heavy rain across the southeast, which has seen so much rain this summer and early this fall. Now, there are going to be impacts in the valley, but obviously we're not in the cones. The impacts are going to be a lot smaller. But particularly, impacts going to be felt at our beaches again, and there's going to be more beach erosion. Already, the waves are starting to pick up today, and that's because of Gamma. But it's Delta that's going to do the bulk of the increasing in our wave heights, because it's going to be a hurricane versus Gamma, which is a very weak tropical storm. I think the biggest waves are going to be on Thursday, so that's when they're going to peak, and then they'll slowly come down Friday and Saturday. So already today, rip currents are possible, and they're going to be possible tomorrow. But with those waves getting bigger Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, a rip current's looking likely, and especially on Thursday. And already tonight, we might see those waves reach the dunes at narrow beaches. Again, probably just on narrow beaches. But in the coming nights around high tide, yeah, that beach erosion is going to occur, and especially on Thursday, those waves will probably run well into the dunes. You know, thank goodness the dunes are there. They're taking a beating this year, but that's what they're there for. We want the dunes to take the beating rather than properties, and that looks like the case with this one. We are going to avoid the property damage, but others on the northern Gulf Coast, that is not going to be the case. Sunny skies today. Highs are going to top out around 90 degrees, slightly humid, not too humid. We're not talking about summertime levels of humidity, but again, not feeling quite as comfortable as it was late last week. Not much wind, just picking up to around 10 miles per hour this afternoon. Clear skies much of the night tonight. Very late, a few clouds will probably pop up, and we can't rule out a little bit of fog as well. I don't think it's going to be dense fog, but some light fog in some locations, especially rural locations, cooling down to around 65, a little below normal for this time of year, and light winds. I know it's just Monday, but we got to talk about the weekend. Upper 60s to start Saturday morning, not too bad, but check out Saturday afternoon. 97 degrees. There's not going to be much cloud cover, so a big-time warm-up expected, and winds out of the south, which is why we're going back to above normal temperatures. Sunday looks a little bit cooler, but unfortunately a little bit more humid, and that's why we're going to be starting warmer, around 70 degrees. A few more clouds and a little bit more wind. That might help keep temperatures in check, but again, that's going to contribute to the humidity. So is it really going to feel that different Saturday and Sunday? Probably not. So can we hope for a cool down? If you look at the extended forecast, we went beyond the 7-day. There are some indications we might be cooling down in the low 90s, upper 80s again if we get another front, which there is potential for Monday night or possibly on Tuesday. Notice the only chance of rain in your first 1 to 5 AccuWeather forecast is Wednesday and Thursday, and they're not good chances. 10% during the day Wednesday, 20% Wednesday night, and a 10% chance Thursday, and that is it. Even though there are going to be 2 tropical systems in the Gulf, we are just not going to be seeing much rain at all. Dina?